Alrighty, welcome back. Here we have yet another video on price action. And in today's video, we're going to go ahead and be looking at the NQ. We got the NASDAQ here on the daily time frame. And if we can, I usually like to pick up on the previous video, go over a little bit of the sentiment and see what kind of targets we had in the past, looking forward into the upcoming week. That's what we're going to be doing this week. So let's see what we were analyzing the previous week. Okay, so here we see that we have a little target to the upside, and this entry right here around 23,700. We could target the top of this channel, and then we could see that we had a model drawn out for a break and retest of that area for another move to the upside. Alongside with that, we did have a week where we're sitting in the middle of the range. So whenever you have a week like that, you obviously know that you can pivot to either side. You're no longer in a continuous trend. You're more like in a chop. So when you're in the chop and you can identify that on the higher time frames, then you can have that double bias. So you're prepared for that nice big move to the downside, and where we can potentially continue to the upside. So in the previous video, we do see this entry above this what looks like this kind of like double bottom, triple bottom here, low break and retest, and an entry to the upside. That would be kind of like what looks to be the 23,700 level, and this area over here seems to be like 23.8, 23.9. So a nice little 200-point move to the upside. And because of the chop, we were able to see that we could potentially break under this, what looks like a neckline of this double bottom. And you can catch that entry around 23,650 and catch a move to the bottom of that channel and see 23,650 turn to 23,550. So, and if you want a short move, a pivot to the bottom of this pennant, then you can target 23,650 for shorts. And I'll leave you guys with those levels. So just like in the previous video, I left off with a couple levels: the break over the neckline to the upside, the break under 23,650 to 23,550. And you don't ever really know what the market's going to do, but like I said, when you're in those choppy ranges in the higher time frames, you can identify that you potentially have a week where both your options are going to be, you're going to be ready for both the options. You're not necessarily bearish, you're not necessarily bullish, you're just somewhat waiting to react to whatever the market gives you. And in this case, we can see that in that previous video, we were sitting around the 17th of August. Let's go ahead and look for that date. The market closed on the 15th, so the video was recorded on the 17th, as I like to record my videos the day before the market opens. And we never got that upside trigger. We started to see some downside. You can see this ferocious candle right here come down, and we had 23,650 trigger right about this level, and you could see that the short was taken. Not only did I manage to avoid this pullback into this area, but that's just a great little retest of exactly where we were looking for a short entry. So this 23,650 level right here, you can see comes after we get that nice impulsive move to the downside. I don't take that. I see the retest. I take that, and this is all I really need in order to catch my portion of the move. And you can see that if I didn't sell, we did have a nice little move back into that channel. And currently sitting in this candle, the highs were 23,800. So that's a nice way to burn your position, because you're looking for continuation. And sometimes you can be searching for continuation, but like I said, when you manage to find the pivots, whether it's to the upside or the downside, you want to know that in a choppy zone, you're not going to get the continuation move. So why wait for a continuation move? I get in, I get out, catch my move, and I'm gone. So the price decides to reverse back into this channel. And then if you wanted to, I mean, we can see here this same exact level of 23,650 went ahead and triggered once again. So we get a cross under, you can take that same move and you get a move all the way to 23,395. So that move right there is going to be very, very substantial. 300 points on the NQ provides some pretty decent returns, to say the least. And if we could look for this week's price action, we see a nice little break under this channel, and not only this little pennant that it's been respecting recently, but we also see the same thing that I like to mention in each and every one of my videos, which is going to be the fact that we are in this uptrend and we've been respecting this uptrend since November, October 2022. And if you have those levels, the way I'm interpreting this price action, I do see us coming back into this strong channel. That's all of this previous month's price action. And it's not to say that we don't break under it and have a little pullback before another move, but at least we have the levels that are strongest and we're ready. So based off of what I'm seeing here is that we just so happen to break under, which is this right here. I can go ahead and turn this pink so we can focus on that. And that is what we're using as resistance, right? We kind of wanted to break over. And if we go ahead and break over this line, then I'm going to go ahead and use this as support because I know that this is my strongest line. So what I'm waiting for here is, now that we broke under, we can probably see this higher time frame triple bottom form. We do see the left shoulder has already formed. We do see it already pulled back and made a little head. We do see it kind of coming down towards this right shoulder, and that's more or less the higher time frame model that I see occurring right now. This has been drawn out for days, potentially even weeks, and it's just so happens to be respecting it. So luckily we can identify exactly what price is doing, and now that we got this move under this channel, we're potentially going to see a continuation, and these are going to be my first targets. So a move under 23,450, we can target 23,180, 23,200, and a move under that we can probably catch continuation to the downside to the 22,900 level. Those are going to be my short triggers, but like I said, if we have this move under this strong area that we've been respecting for a couple of years, then my narrative will change and I'll start to look for longs. Anything in here is going to be uncertainty, and you can obviously see that price likes to get stuck in this range. It's very choppy, not a lot of good candles, not a lot of strong momentum in this area. So we're going to go ahead and watch out for that area, and we're going to call this area an area where we don't take trades because it's potentially the choppiest area based off of our levels. So I'll move over 23,680, 23,690. We can look for continuation. Well, we'll just round it off to the 23,700 round psychological level just to be safe. 23,700 can trigger an upside move to the nice 23,800 clean round cycle as well, and then maybe 23,880, which would be the rejection of this pennant that has been respected. So those are going to be my levels for this week. I'll leave you guys with that. If you guys can leave a like, subscribe, I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.